Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Theravada Buddhism series, Dhamma talk number 91. The 11th rain retreat of the Buddha at the Nalaka village. Buddha spent his 11th rain retreat at Nalaka monastery near Nalaka village, where Brahmin farmers live. The village was located on the southern plain outside the 5 mountains surrounding the Rajagaha city in the Magadha kingdom. At Nalaka village lived a wealthy Brahmin, Satipatthana, farming by trade. One morning, he and 500 Brahmins plows fastened with yokes were farming. The Buddha, carrying an alms bowl, went to the farmer's work site, where Satipatthana distributed food to fellow farmers. The Buddha stood at an appropriate spot. The Brahmin Bharavaja saw the Buddha standing for alms, and then he rudely said to the Buddha, "We plow and sow crops. After we have done the job, we eat. You samana," that means the Buddha, "should plow and sow so that you could eat." What he really meant was, there's no free lunch. One must work hard to put a meal on the table. That's what he meant. But the Buddha calmly replied, "I too plow and sow, and having done it, I eat." And then the Brahmin looked at it and he retorted with a verse. Okay, I tried to put the verse the best that I could without losing the essence of what it meant. The Brahmin retorted in this way, "Where are your plough, yoke, stick, oxen, and seeds? I do not see your tools and equipments, and yet you claim that you plow and sow. You better explain in full." So as the Brahmin make a statement with a verse, or asked with a verse, the Buddha also answered likewise in a verse. Faith and confidence are my seeds for the crops. Austerity in plenty is my rain. Insight is my yoke and plow. Modesty is my pole. Mind is the yoke tie and strap. Mindfulness is my sharp whip. Forward I go with exertion, the harness ox. With these tools I conduct proper speech and deed, restraint in food to suit the stomach, truth as a weed whacker, attain arhatship the unbound. No sorrow or grief can stay and stare. Nibbana, the supreme peace. The Buddha used all his farming tools and actions with the Dharma practice he lived with. And then Buddha carried on and said, I plowed and sowed in this way, receiving the crop of deathlessness, the ultimate freedom from suffering. So, those are the verses the Buddha answered to the question the Brahmin posed of not walking and wanting a free lunch. And the Buddha claimed he did plow, he did sow, and he eat. Said, I don't see your tools. Where are they? You better explain. Don't be a liar. Basically accusing the Buddha a liar. And the Buddha explained in this verse that I had recited. The meaning and essence are the same, but it's not the way it was composed originally. Then the Brahmin Paravaja of Kasi filled a copper bowl with rice milk and offered to the Buddha, saying, Please accept and partake rice milk, Venerable Gautama. Now the Brahmin called the Buddha by his name. Before he just called Samana, a recluse. Now is by name Venerable Gautama. Indeed, you are the plowman who plows and harvests the crop of deathlessness. He was impressed. He changed his tone and then offered the rice milk in a copper bowl. In those days, most of the bowls are made with copper and probably clay. That's a Bronze Age. However, the Buddha rejected the offering of the rice milk because reciting a sacred verse and accepting the food is not in accord with the right livelihood. Not proper, not right, according to the conduct of livelihood. Because there are three immorality group: right deed, right speech, and right livelihood. And it's not the conduct of the Buddhas of the past. In other words, every Buddhas behave exactly, not by giving a little verse or a gatha or a mantra. Okay, this is sacred just for you. Take it. And then they accept the gift. But that's not the way of the Buddha. However, the Buddha said to him, if one offers other food, not this right milk, if one offers other food to well-disciplined, accomplished, and taintless people, it will accumulate great merit of good karma. In other words, if you offer any other food other than this particular rice milk, it will give to the accomplished ones, mean Arahants and Buddhas. It will accumulate great merit of kusala. And then the Brahmin asked the Buddha to whom he should give the rice milk to. So what do I do with this rice milk if I can't offer you or any other person? The Buddha replied that he saw no one in this world or in all the worlds who could digest the rice milk except Tathagata and his disciple. Tathagata is another title of Buddha. Except Tathagata and disciple. Other than those, nobody can digest this food, meaning it will create problems. It will give you illness, discomfort if they eat it. So, it is best to discard it, but discard it away from where the grass and plants grows. Or you can discard it in the water but make sure there is no fish or any other living beings or observable living insects or fish or beings who could eat that rice milk. And if they exist in that water, don't throw there. So later the Brahmin looked for a spot where there's a pool of water, but there's no livings in it. And he threw the food into that water. The rice milk smoked and steamed, making crackling, popping noises. Mostly like burned up, making noises in the water. So the Brahmin was startled. Wow, what's happening? Yeah. So finally, later the Brahmin followed the Buddha to where the Buddha was residing, which is the Nalaka monastery, not too far from the village where he lived, Nalaka village. And he approached the Buddha kneeling and paid respect. He praised, the Dharma is excellent. Your teachings, the Dharmas, are excellent. Like lifting a fallen person. You're falling down, but somebody lifted up and placed it properly. That's what the Dharma does. Revealing the concealed things that are hidden from the everyday people where we can't see. Those are being revealed. That's what the Dharma's power. And bringing light into the darkness to point the right way to a lost person. A person is lost. The Buddha showed the way as if bringing the light into the darkness. After he praised the Buddha and Dharma, he took refuge in the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha and asked for the novice ordination and higher ordination. He got his ordinations in the Buddha's presence. He dwelled alone in a secluded place and practiced heedfully and diligently. Within a short period, he attained arahantship, the highest liberation, the perfection. So that's how this meeting of the Brahmin and the Buddha, Brahmin, the farmer, and the Buddha come, and then that's how the story evolved. We'll see sometime the Buddha taught us in parables. One of the well-known parables, which I have already given a Dharma talk in the series, The Parables of the Law. Buddha was sitting on a bank and a log was taken down by a river, and when the Buddha see the log, he used the log as a parable example and taught the monks around him how to reach Nibbana without being caught along the way. That's a parable. And here the Buddha taught us again with a parable that Bharavaja Sutta is the parable of the sower, based on the meeting of the Buddha and the Brahmin Bharavaja, the farmer, as cited above or explained above. Buddha showed the Brahmin the work of a Buddha in a farmer's job with parables, faith as a seed, austerity as rain, insight as the plow, mindfulness as a sharp whip, energy as burden carrier, and the crop harvest is Nibbana, freedom from all suffering. It is a straightforward to understand by lay persons, but simultaneously it is very profound. So let us follow the path walked by the sower of deadliness, the Buddha. The path is the Noble Eightfold Path, and attain liberation from suffering as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.